I've been hearing that for decades, literally. How do we get buy-in, from the top people, from the middle people, and all that stuff? And I think what they're doing is helping to supercharge the community and raise it to a much more strategic level than just L&D community.
One of the things that Wendy shares a lot with me, and whenever she talks about the model, is this is the model that the industry built. And that's how it happened. It happened through the community. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Kirkpatrick Podcast. It is your favorite Kirkpatrick hosts, Vanessa and Jim. And
Hello.
Today we are going to be talking all about community and evaluation. Jim, I know you love building relationships and talking about how do you work across silos and sectors. So I think this is going to be a really great conversation. And then I love a community and bringing people together. And we both have a love of evaluation. So I think this is going to be a special one. What do you think?
I've been talking about, and Kirkpatrick's, I'm talking about building bridges, relationships, but you have introduced the concept of community. And I think that takes on a whole new meaning. It isn't just the relationship, but it is much more than just building relationships and colleagues and so forth. There is a spiritual element to it. That goes beyond just the techniques and tactics of building partnerships that I'm so excited about. And we had a Q&A yesterday with a bunch of people from Bronze graduates, and a lot of it was about community. They were very interested in that and seeing that it's a game changer. It really is. I'm excited to see what we talk about today.
Yes, but before we do, you know me, and I love a good Kirkpatrick update. This is my one shot at being like a reporter, so I'm going to take it every time. All right, everyone, there is still time to access our government year-end deals and savings. And no, you don't have to spend and use you do have to spend. You don't have to use what you buy in fiscal year 2024. If you want to apply it to a course in 2025, just let us know and we can definitely put you in for something there, but you could still take advantage of the cost savings of the fiscal year end. So just want to repeat that. You can take advantage of the cost savings from the end of the year for FY24, but not take a certification or program or participate in a consulting project or curriculum design project until after October 1st, so fiscal year 2025. Just wanted to clear that up. There have been a couple of questions on that. The discounts are only applicable to online U.S. broadcasted certification programs, and there's just been added a new one for October. I think it starts around Halloween, so who knows if we might show up dressed in our best Halloween costume. I may encourage that of everybody, not just the facilitators. And again, consulting, impact studies, and curriculum design are all on there. As a reminder, we are on the GSA schedule just to make purchasing much easier for you all in the government and military. So if you have any questions of where to access that information or where to find us, let us know and we can get you all of our GSA information. And like we mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about the importance of community today when it comes to the practice of learning and performance evaluation. So as a reminder, you can get access to a full year of our brand new Kirkpatrick community that everyone is super excited about for a special year-end savings price. All of our deals can be found on the website or in the show notes. And with that, let's get to the community. So I was really touched and excited when I heard from the team how excited those that participated in your Q&A were about the community. So for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about and are like, I would have signed up with a Q&A with Dr. Kirkpatrick. Why didn't I know about it? Well, it's because you're not in our community. So what we did, so starting in January of this year, we started taking all of our certification programs and making them a blended solution that also included a community feature. So when I was doing the RFPs and evaluating, see what I did there, learning management systems and platforms, there were a lot of things I had to check the box. And some of them from a more instructional design learning perspective and the ability to have more flexibility. But honestly, my biggest thing, Jim, was the community. So how can we create like a Facebook group or Facebook groups in this online space where you can also access resources, templates, like all of these things? Because I don't know about you, but like, I'll ask, when you have, a question about something with your boat or fishing, who do you ask first for advice?
My friends.
Your friends. Right. People that have experience with the boat, experience with fishing.
I got a whole list of them, depending on what I need.
Right, exactly. Depending on what it is that you need, you go somewhere else. Why don't you go to like the Googler?
Well, I get overwhelmed with the Googler and not sure what, but I have a relationship with these people. They know my boat as well as I do. And I know that it's just a quick text and down the stairs I go and there they are on the dock waiting for me to come down and them to help. And it just, it can be very informal. It can be more formal. I have a specific issue and I don't know, it just feels, it just enlightens my day as well.
Yeah, it's more personal. It puts the human back into, whatever it is that you're doing. And that is exactly why we needed to build a Kirkpatrick community, because I started thinking about my own questions about evaluation and like, where did I go? I didn't know who was doing it right. Spoiler alert, most people were not doing it right. I have since learned. I didn't know, who was that trusted resource. And a lot of people were not necessarily doing the same work as me. So it was hard to, get that idea sharing and bounce ideas off of each other. And so I wanted to build that trusted place, because as I started to Google the Kirkpatrick model myself, even today, not everything out there is actually accurate. Most of it is actually inaccurate. And so that was so important for me to build that community and help to build those relationships and build folks that could really lean on each other during times of like questions and challenges, and also be that support for others. Like, this is the go-to place for, Kirkpatrick and, building that community. Part of what we struggle with as a community is not trusting the right sources. And so if we can ensure that we are all coming from the same place, we all have had similar experiences, we could actually get to a better place and start to spread the message a little bit more. And I think that's one way for me to also give back to you and your father and Wendy to help continue the legacy, right? Is to continue to build that community and people that know the model, love the model, spread the model, and things like that. So I would love to hear more from you. How do you believe that the community, it could be such an importance when it comes to learning and performance evaluation?
You said learning and performance, didn't you?
I did.
I heard you. You always say that now. You've been saying it for months, and that's really what I think is the core, one of the core values and core beliefs of the community, is that we are trying to correct sometimes false information about what Kirkpatrick is. Sometimes it's just kind of had its time, and we have updated things since we've all been working together. And I yesterday, when we did the Q&A, it was also interesting that it wasn't just Q&A, question Jim and Jim answers it. There were other people in the community that were chiming in, and I kind of prompted him a little bit and said, that question you asked, it sounds like you have something in mind specifically when you're asking that. And then they'd say, well, here's what we do. And obviously this community is it. I go on the website and I don't even have to work very hard to find stuff. A lot of times the community doesn't work for me, whatever that community is, but this one does. I get information I didn't know and people get it, but it's a two-way street as well. The community gives back to us of things that we don't even think of. And that's I'm starting to see that. And I think that's what excites me, and that's what builds my spirit, not just when I think we're helping someone, but when they help others in the community, and they help us. That's where really great big plus.
And I think we're talking specifically about an online community, but this also goes beyond online, right? It's also the community you build in person. And it's that culture. And we always talk about that culture of evaluation. Well, part of it is it's not just the processes and the procedures and making sure that you're evaluating all of your mission critical programs. It's also the people that make up the culture. And so being able to have those connections, make evaluation more human, actually makes it easier to do that work. Interestingly, I was chatting with Danielle before the podcast today. For all of you that don't know who Danielle is, Danielle does our marketing. And I was asking her, I'm like, well, how's the podcast doing? What are our top episodes? And by far, every single, week, month that we review this, it's still fatal evaluation flaws, which we love that. But also, how do you gain buy-in, whether it's senior leader, your peer and things like that. And so that's where I think we can only share so much of like our experience gaining buy-in or our recommendations, but there's so much power in community to say, I'm having this challenge getting my people to buy into why we need to be doing manager touch bases on this content. What have you done in order to gain that buy-in? And that I think is really special too.
And there are really the buy-in. We hear that. I've been hearing that for decades, literally. How do we get buy-in, from the top people, from the middle people, and all that stuff? And certainly we want to get them to buy into what we're doing by evidence, right? And a chain of evidence we talk about, and convincing their logic, their mind, and connecting to the mission, But we find that the double method is that they also buy in because they trust us. Because we could just send them a PowerPoint slide or send them a report and say, here's what we've done. We've connected, level 1 and 2 across the bridge into level 3. Critical behavior's been executing properly because of the drivers, leading indicators. There you go. Now, why don't they buy in? Because they don't know us. And they don't know you yet. Yeah. And the way you present it is not best through a report, but it's face to face with them as much as you can, because they know you're connecting with them through the spirit, through the emotion, and through the community, building the community. And that those two together seem to really be the way to really make that happen fast.
Yeah. You just did an impact study. And tell me more about how you saw community as you did that impact study and the effect of their community in terms of the outcomes of the program.
Oh, I love to talk about that impact study that we did with an element of the military. We've done some in the past, and what I think part of the outcome is we have helped create community by what we did and what happened afterwards. Well, this time they surprised us. There was already community there. Some of them were familiar with Kirkpatrick, some of them weren't, but they had been getting good leadership. And what we did is we added a lot of the evidence to the relationships that they already had. And we were the benefactors of that. Jordan and I and others have been involved with that. And we came away feeling so excited about what they're doing and what we are doing with them beyond this, because the community of evidence and relationships is opening doors that in the past we just never did.
How did you see, and do you believe that leaders, senior leadership, what role do they play in fostering that sense of community and belonging?
Well, for one thing, what they already have started to do is they have been reaching out. The senior leaders have been reaching back to the people that were in the trenches doing this this impact study, and it was really about quality assurance specialists that they had trained, and the quality of the work and the relationship that they built. So they're starting now to reach back and say, hey, can you help us do that? Can you tell us more information about what you did? We have some people that are interested. And I think what they're doing is helping to supercharge the community and raise it to a much more strategic level than just, and I'm gonna get upset here if I don't watch myself, just the L&D community. We hear about the L&D community all the time, and all we do is we just keep talking about the same things all the time, competency models and upskilling and those kind of things. This now is truly a learning and performance community where we are joining together in a holistic approach to whatever organization it is, and we're seeing marvelous results that we just can't get out of L&D.
Jim, I started in L&D. It's like a dagger in my heart. Just kidding.
And it's necessary. It's extremely important, but not sufficient. And I heard That's you fair. Talk about L&P, so I know
I know. I made the mindset shift. Yes. Okay. And I almost said a wrong word, a bad word. We would have had to be edited. We would have gone to PG-13 rating on this podcast if I said the wrong word. Yeah. So I think I have to agree. Actually, I was just working with a customer. We were working on onboarding for their district managers, and the big miss for me the entire time, and I kind of tried to create it, or was hopeful I could really encourage them to do this, create an online community for their district managers to continue building the relationship after this 8-week onboarding program. Unfortunately, just the resources aren't there. But I think if leadership can really understand the value of people connecting with each other and recognize that this is not something new, right? You do this yourself. You are looking for a painter for your home. You're looking for, you're a good plumber. People are no longer just going to Google. And if you do go to Google, you don't go to Google without looking at the reviews, right? Because you were trying to look for others that have the experience so that you know what to expect. But I'll be honest, I stopped Googling and I start just going to Facebook groups, in particular mom groups. And I've gotten so many good recommendations that my husband now even says to me, when we just moved, go to the mom group and find us an electrician, or go to the mom group and find us this or find us that. He even knows that is the better place to go, because you'll get more of that sense of community and understanding of their experience. And then I don't know anybody here. I mean, my family is 45 minutes away from me. And so now I'm able to also provide some recommendations of my own and my own experiences, and I'm meeting people and we're chatting, and then hopefully I'll it's hard at 38 to make new friends. So putting myself out in the community.
Vanessa, you're using the community to get, contacts that you need in your new home and all that stuff. What does it do for you? What does it do for you when you give back?
Oh my goodness.
Build community.
That makes me actually even happier, because I feel like I'm actually able to contribute to someone and help them not to make a mistake that I made. Whether it's, I went to this new restaurant, this was great, don't try that, and things like that. But it just, if I can make someone's day a little bit better, a little bit easier, all the better. And then it continues. And then what happens from there is that it spreads, let's say it is a restaurant, right? Hopefully more people will see that restaurant and more people will frequent it and things like that. Not saying that my recommendation warrants a huge bump in sales, but I'm hopeful that, a few more people have tried it, and then it kind of goes and it spreads from there. That's the way things scale, right? It's a few people, how the model honestly scaled, right? A few people took the articles, applied it, told some more people, and it just continues. And those people told other people, and it spreads from there. And one of the things that Wendy shares a lot with me, and whenever she talks about the model, is this is the model that the industry built.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And that's how it happened. It happened through the community, through the industry community. So like, why wouldn't, we want to continue to build that? And it doesn't have to be as, it shouldn't be an afterthought. And over time, it won't actually be as labor intensive. In the beginning it is, because you got to get people comfortable. You have to get people to like remember to go to the community and, really build that trust with them. But once that is built, you barely need a community manager anymore. We all see these Facebook groups and we're like, well, these Facebook groups are, doing really well. And it's like, yeah, well, they've also have 2,000, 3,000 members, and they've been in existence for 10 years. Let's go back to the beginning 10 years ago and see how they got their start, right? But once the wheels start going, the wheels start turning, and it starts to, what does Amy say? Like round out the edges, and
Sure.
it turns more smoothly. It's actually not as heavy of a lift as a really long instructional design program that you now need to implement, and not as expensive.
You know what, Vanessa, since I've known you, and I believe it's been about a year. It's August 1st.
August
So I
1st.
believe it's almost exactly a year.
It is. Yeah.
That I have seen that what comes to my mind is a balance of community, and that is providing assistance to others and also accepting help from others.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen you exemplify that. I've seen how many people said, you've helped me, but I also hear you say, here's what I learned from so-and-so and such and such. And I think what we can do is kind of check ourselves once in a while and say, am I always trying to give to everybody else and talk to everybody else? Or am I just a listener and not contributing? And I think it's good to kind of shoot for that balance where we're learning from others and strengthening from others, but also sharing the hope and the strength that we have that maybe they're lacking.
Mm-hmm. So you shared earlier your favorite part about the community. Can you just refresh us on what that was exactly? The Kirkpatrick community.
Well, it is almost like a lighting a sparkler, or a candle or something that I see where we've been making progress about this fast, to be honest, over the years, because we have built individual ambassadors and evangelists for the model, but with the technology and with different with your leadership, particularly, we see it ramping up much quicker. And it's the true model, not the one where people think you separate the levels and it's all about level 1 or 2. Yeah, that you're killing me. The triangle. But that's what I'm seeing, is that this effort is taking on kind of a grassroots and also an expertise with the Kirkpatrick Partners. There's so many ways that people can learn, and get information that it's even beyond me, all those things, but it's all there.
So you're not going to be the moderator and administrator and the tech person? You
want me to come and help you with your house, with the electrician, the plumbing?
I would love that right now.
Well, I wish the word help. That's the problem. I don't help with those technology things, or, a lot of things. I pretty much, you're very good at letting me do and guiding me to do the things I'm good at, and
you're
to help
better.
The community and keep me away from things that I could only cause confusion.
Well, you're not going to bring down the community. I think I agree with you. And I think part of one of the challenges we hear about the program, and I know you've heard it, and you probably heard it for years, even before we revamped them, is I want to hear more case studies. How are other people doing this? I wanted more time in my breakout room to have conversations and things like that. Well, so like now this is the way to have more of that time. I tell people all the time when I consult with them on their programs, when you do instructor-led virtual, whatever the case may be, people will always want more time to talk to each other and idea share. And there is so much magic in that. So now let's give them that space to do that and to do it online. And so I'm really excited for that. And all of the exclusive events that only people that are part of the community get to have. So that includes, Q&As with you, Jim, and having that direct one-on-one time with Dr. Kirkpatrick, as well as quarterly, we're going to be bringing in an expert in learning and performance. So it might be a psychometrician. It might be someone else that does evaluation, right? Just who can we bring in to help continue the learning and the actual application of what we're doing. My dream, although Sarah, our community manager, doesn't know this yet, I mean, she will once she listens to the podcast, is eventually we have like challenges where people are doing and creating evaluation plans so we can hold them accountable to walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So friends, I hope to see you in the Kirkpatrick community. As a reminder, we have a year-end deal on the Kirkpatrick community. Take advantage of it. It will give you access to our community for an entire year at an extremely low price. And you will have access to others in the field that are doing the work. You'll have access to us to ask your questions on an ongoing basis. You do not have to have been a member of our bronze or our silver program. This is truly a place. So if you love the Kirkpatrick model and you love evaluation, this is the place for you. So with that, Jim, thank you for being part of my community.
My pleasure. It really is. This year's gone by and we're on to another one.
Yeah, on to the next one. Who knows what that era is going to bring, but it's going to be pretty big. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next episode. Bye.